Ever thought about a fun trip turning into a total nightmare? Check out how a group of friends fights to stay alive in the dark hills of Nevada, dealing with ruthless predators and crazy horrors. Picture a huge desert full of rocky, empty hills. In the middle of Nevada, there's a spot hardly anyone goes to. The wind whistles there in a weird way, like it's trying to tell some old, forgotten story. The hills of Nevada aren't just piles of rocks. They've got dark secrets, super old ones. Back in the 16th century, a clan of cannibals led by the nasty Sawney Bean did horrible things in a cave in Scotland. They'd snatch villagers, drag them into the dark, and turn them into dinner. Over 1,000 innocent people met a terrible end because of those monsters. But what if I told you the story didn't stop in Scotland? That the evil there crossed the ocean and found a new home in Nevada's hills. The twisted descendants of that cruel bunch now hide among the rocks and caves, watching, waiting. At night, when it's quiet and the moon lights up the rocky peaks, people say you can hear whispers. Whispers of pain and agony. Lost souls begging for help. These voices have kept the secret safe for a long time, scaring away curious folks with promises of unspeakable terror. Would you dare explore these hills? Walk the forgotten paths where blood-stained sand silently screams about past victims. This is where our story kicks off. A place full of suspense and terror. Like a gateway to hell on earth. And it's just waiting for you to take the first step inside. As the wind keeps whispering creepy secrets among the hills of Nevada, an unsuspecting group of tourists wanders through this spooky land. They have no clue what's waiting for them. They're like sheep walking towards hungry wolves. The scorching sun hides behind dark clouds. The tourists follow their path, missing the disturbing signs along the way. Weird markings carved into the rocks, pieces of blood-stained clothing that the sadists didn't bother to pick up. Suspense fills the air as the tourists keep moving, the fog of uncertainty covering every step they take. Nervous glances are exchanged, but no one dares to talk about the danger ahead. Then, one by one, the group members start to disappear. It's like the earth itself swallowed them, leaving no trace. Fear grabs the hearts of the surviving tourists, terrified by the grim reality surrounding them. They finally get it. The marks on the rocks and the bits of blood-stained clothing were warnings. But they missed the signs, and now they're the next main course at the sadists' feast. Can you feel that chill down your spine? The suspense creeping in. With every step they take, every shadow that moves in the corner of their eye, the terror gets worse. Danger is near, and the full cruelty of the sadists is about to show. Despair sets in as the remaining tourists realize the horrible reality around them. The hills of Nevada, once just a desolate landscape, now reveal themselves as a hunting ground for relentless predators. With each step, the feeling of being watched grows, and the silence is almost unbearable. Suddenly, Claudia, one of the tourists, falls into a hidden pit covered by branches. Her screams echo through the hills but quickly get muffled. The others run toward the sound, horrified, only to find a dark hole going down into the earth. It's clear now, they are being hunted. With shaky courage, they descend into the cave, armed only with flashlights and desperate bravery. The cave walls, cold and damp, seem to close in around them, making it feel suffocating. As they go further, the smell of decay becomes unbearable, showing that Claudia is not the first to fall into these monsters' clutches. Soon, they stumble upon a nightmare scene. Bodies in various stages of decomposition are scattered across the cave floor, mutilated limbs, faces frozen in eternal terror. In every corner, there are signs of the horrors inflicted by those sadistic creatures. Makeshift torture tools, torn clothes, fragments of human bones, all showing the atrocities committed. The survivors realize they're in a chamber of horrors, hidden within the hills. The full extent of the sadist's cruelty is revealed in every grim detail. Claudia, bound and gagged, is there, her eyes wide with fear, pleading for help. But there's no time for a detailed rescue plan. The sound of shuffling footsteps and sinister laughter echoes through the cave corridors, signaling that the sadists are near. The plot thickens, and the tension rises as the remaining tourists understand that their only chance of survival is to escape. But how do you escape a living nightmare? Where any sound, any movement, can attract the attention of the monsters in these hills. The sound of footsteps and creepy laughter gets closer, increasing the tourists' terror. With trembling breath, they scatter throughout the chamber, desperately looking for an exit or a hiding spot. One of the tourists, Eduardo, finds a narrow passageway in the cave's corner, partially hidden by stalactites. "This way," he whispers urgently. They move quickly. Claudia, now freed, joins the group, still shaking but determined to survive. The passage is tight and winding, each step dragging them deeper into the earth's belly. The sadists' laughter echoes ominously, marking their efforts, making it hard to tell where it's coming from. With fear growing by the second, Eduardo leads the way, probing the cave walls with his trembling flashlight. Suddenly, they see a faint light ahead, like a promise of salvation. Everyone's heart races with renewed hope, but as they get closer, they realize the light is from a lit bonfire, surrounded by dark figures. The sadists, the smell of burnt and rotting flesh is overwhelming. Those grotesque beings, with distorted smiles and hungry eyes, reveal themselves in all their monstrosity. One of the tourists, Vanessa, takes a wrong step, knocking over stone. The sound echoes through the cave, making the creatures alert, turning their malicious gaze toward the group. The tension peaks now. There's no choice. They have to fight. Eduardo grabs a sharp rock from the ground. Claudia finds a broken piece of wood. With a cry of desperation and courage, they charge. The battle is brutal and chaotic. The caves fill with screams, both from the sadists and the tourists, the blood mixing with the ground's dampness. The tourists, driven by survival instinct, fight with a strength they didn't know they had. Eduardo takes down a sadist. Claudia drives her piece of wood into another's back. Every second feels like an eternity. Every movement is a fight for life. Finally, after a fierce clash, the few remaining sadists retreat, wounded, disappearing into the cave shadows. Silence reigns once more, broken only by the groans and heavy breaths of the survivors. Battered, bloodied, but alive, they realize the fight isn't over. They must find their way out of these cursed hills before the sadists regain their strength and come back to finish what they started. With renewed determination, they prepare for the final leg of their desperate journey, knowing the real battle for freedom has only just begun. The survivors, exhausted and injured, cautiously advance through the cave's depths, searching for an exit. Shadows dance around them, creating grotesque forms that seem to want to devour them. The humid, stifling air makes breathing difficult, and fear lines every step. The torch found at the sadists' camp is their only source of light, illuminating the dark path. Amid the frightening darkness, they feel an unsettling presence, as if being watched by invisible eyes. But they have no time to focus on disturbing sensations. They just keep moving forward. The cave seems endless, its rock walls stretching as they advance, searching for an opening to the outside world. Time drags, making the escape even more distressing. Each step is taken with caution, trying to avoid hidden traps the sadists might have set. Finally, a faint light seeps through the rock crevices. The survivors' hearts fill with hope. They know they are nearing freedom, but also aware that danger still lurks. The sadists may be coming after them, thirsty for blood and revenge. The passage opens to the outside world, revealing a desolate landscape. The hills of Nevada lie before them, shrouded in shadows and dark secrets. They emerge from the cave, breathing the fresh air gratefully, but not forgetting the lurking danger. Wasting no time, they move as quickly as possible, using their last reserves of energy. They run through twisted trees and rugged terrain, not knowing if they are being chased or if the sadists have been finally defeated. The hills seem to shift around them, a constantly changing landscape that defies their sense of direction. A faint light appears in the distance. A beacon, a safe haven. There's no time for questions, only to head towards it, hoping to find help or a way to escape this terrible ordeal. Step by step, they continue their journey of survival with courage and determination, without looking back. Did you enjoy the adrenaline? Then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more spine-chilling stories. Share with your friends and let us know in the comments how you would react in such a situation.